Hi, I'm Marymichele of Camac Retirement Group, and today I'm joined by Marymichele Delaney, Director of Human Resources at Lasell College, and she's also one of our clients. We're coming to you from the New England Employee Benefit Council's 2018 Employee Benefit Summit. Marymichele, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Kara. Happy to be here.
Marymichele, would you tell us a little bit about your background and to what do you attribute your knowledge of retirement plans?
Sure. I've been in the higher ed field for a long time in human resources, mostly managing benefit programs. So I've worked on retirement plans at very large institutions as well as smaller institutions. So I've worked at Harvard University, Tufts University, Wellesley College, and now Lasell. So the retirement plans are really key to ensuring recruitment and retention and also financial security of the employees for the institutions. And working on those plans has given me a lot of background about asset allocation, fund choices, plan design, and those sorts of things.
Great. Can you tell me a little bit about what makes Lasell College's retirement plan unique?
Sure. The Lasell College retirement plan is unique because it's not a complicated design, which is a plus, because retirement plans can be extremely confusing for faculty and staff. So our plan is unique in that it's not that complicated. There's a 7.5% college contribution, which is a match. So employees need to ensure that they put in up to that point, up to 7.5% in order to get the full match. So what we've done since I've been there in the last year and a half is altered the way we communicate the retirement plan and ensure that employees are engaged and contributing at the level that's appropriate to get, so they don't leave any money on the table. So our retirement plan is simple. It's a great asset in terms of folks understanding their financial security, and it's also a really good tool for recruitment and retention. And so we've ensured that we've communicated the plan design in a way that's really simple and effective for people, and I think it's been working.
Great. And what are some of your goals for the retirement plan, and how have you worked to make that plan as attractive as possible to your participants?
So our goal is to ensure that no faculty and staff leave money on the table, that they get the full college contribution and the full college match. So if they put in 7.5%, the college contributes 7.5%, and there's a 15% contribution that goes in each year, which is really a good level. So it's a really competitive retirement plan. So one of my goals when I came to Lasell, which was about a year and a half ago, was to really increase the level of understanding of the participants. So what we found was that a lot of people were not doing the full match and not getting the full contribution from the college. So we've altered the way we communicate the plan. So we use email communications, we use video communication, we use on-campus presentations, which include food because people love to come and have food. So that helps engagement. We've also done individualized communication. So after a year of service, the college match begins. So we've put in place a retirement reorientation process where our vendor comes in and does that reorientation for folks. So we invite specifically those who are not contributing at a level that gets them the full match, and we also invite those who are approaching the 1 year point because we want to make sure that they're doing the full 7.5% to get the full match. Now that doesn't mean everybody will do that. There are folks who aren't going to do that full amount just because of financial needs elsewhere, but at least they know and understand the plan.
Great. It sounds like you're really focused on your employee population.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, you recently added a financial planning benefit. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so this is really a unique benefit, and I think ensures that Lasell stands out in a particular way. So in my prior life at Wellesley College, we put this benefit in there too. So there's just 2 institutions that have it. Others have not followed suit, which is sort of interesting. But the way the financial planning benefit works is that under the retirement plan, that if there are excess fees that don't need to be in place in order to pay for the administration of the plan, those excess fees go into what's called an ERISA account, and we can use those dollars to educate folks about the retirement plan. So what we've done is we've established an ERISA account at Lasell through the TIA account structure, and we brought in a financial planner who is basically somebody who is not tied to a fund house and not tied to an investment structure. So they have no bias in terms of the decision that the employee makes about what they do with their contribution level or what funds they put the dollars into. So they will meet with the financial planner, and there's an invoice provided to the employee for the services. So it's an hourly invoice, an hourly rate, and then that's given to Lasell HR office, and we pay that invoice out of the ERISA account. So it's like a second opinion for folks, and TIA does a great job in terms of their representatives who do financial planning as well, but this is a second opinion which is unbiased and not related to the compensation of the financial planner. So people can come with their issues. Maybe they want to figure out how to retire in 4 years and move to Florida and have a sustainable income, or maybe they have 2 young children they're trying to fund for college. So whatever the issue is, the faculty or staff member can come meet with the financial planner. They pay nothing for that service. The college picks that up, and they can come as often as once a year. So it's really a standout benefit in terms of there just isn't anything like it out there, and people leave that experience with a whole new understanding of what their target is in terms of asset allocation, what their target is in terms of a contribution level to get to their goal.
That's great. Have you found a lot of participants using that benefit thus far?
Yes. So the participants who've used it, I mean, we've communicated it a lot, but in sort of different varying ways, because people are busy, and it's really hard to make sure that they sort of see what the benefits are as well as understand it. So it's a complicated benefit. So we found that we've had a really good usage of it. So we'll continue to promote it sort of on a quarterly basis. And then the next step is that we're going to have testimonials from those folks who have used it at Lasell and who are comfortable giving testimonials, because the testimonials that we use now are more generic from the vendors, folks that they've worked with.
So you'll feature the actual Lasell employees.
Yeah.
Perfect. Shifting gears a little bit, what are some of the challenges that you have faced or continue to face as the director of HR for a smaller school?
Well, I think that one of the challenges in the role in a smaller school basically is assets. So, we don't have as much bandwidth in terms of staff in the HR department. So we have a motto, which is work smarter, not harder, because we have to. So we really leverage our vendors, and they're partners for us in a really critical way. CAMAC is one of our partners and is key for us, as well as all of our other vendors. So we really leverage whatever assets and whatever work we can get in terms of them partnering with us. So the other piece is that, with a smaller institution, often the endowment isn't as large. So there just aren't a lot of excess dollars. So we have to learn how to bring value to the table at minimal cost. So our goal is really to find ways to be as innovative and to bring benefit packages to the employees in a way that's not going to add cost to the bottom line.
And you spoke about this a little bit earlier, but what have you found to be the greatest obstacles or challenges to employees learning about the retirement plan offered at Lasell?
Well, I think there's a lot of information in the benefits package. So what we have done is altered the way we communicate that. So we put together a benefits chart, we put together a benefits guide, which is really a summary tool that's used for recruitment and also to make sure that employees understand their benefits. So when I first came to the college, there were some benefits people didn't even know they had, like their employee assistance program. So we've altered the way we inform folks, and what we know is everybody's busy. So faculty and staff have challenging, they're challenged in terms of what kind of time they have, what they have to focus on, the tasks that they have. So we had to find a way to get through the noise and to make sure people understand their programs and understand how to use them, and therefore ensure that they're using all the benefits that are valuable to them. So we've been able to do that, and people are paying attention and they're excited about their benefits. So what we found as a side effect of that is increased engagement and also increased morale, which is always a plus.
And can you point to what you think might be the most effective means of communication when it comes to communicating the Lasell plan?
Well, I think one of the most effective ways to communicate is through individualized information. So there actually is this report card tool that is available that we use through TIA. And what that tool does is it tells the individual what their score is in terms of their report card, meaning how close they are to getting to the 80% replacement ratio in retirement for their income distribution. And we look at the total in their retirement account, we look at their asset allocation, we look at their contribution level, we model that out to the future, and they get a score as to are they going to meet the 80% replacement ratio or not. So they get this report card, and it's a visual with not a lot of words on it, but it's very impactful. So the participant looks at that and says, wow, okay, so if I take XYZ action, I will get there. If I just take partial action, I'll get closer to that. So they can make decisions, individually about what they need to do with their retirement plan.
What do you feel your achievements have been in bringing a best-in-class benefits package to your employees?
So over the last year and a half, we've actually done a lot in terms of the benefits package. What we wanted to do is make sure that we were leveraging as much value in our benefits package as possible with as minimal cost as possible. So, partnering with our vendors, again, with CMAC and many other vendors, we were able to decrease the fees for the retirement plan, which is critical. We were able to add a loan feature in the retirement plan. We also added a feature which allows folks to get specific management help from the retirement plan for their funds and for their fund account. We went out to bid for an employee assistance program because we realized that none of our employees were using the employee assistance program, which is partly, the college's HR responsibility to make sure that they're working closely with folks. So, why pay for a plan that you're not using? So we did go out to bid for the employee assistance program. We did move to a new vendor who's terrific. One thing that vendor has is an online resilience tool that's available 24/7. It's called Mequilibrium, and it's a terrific tool to allow people to sort of build their resilience, and it's individually based on folks' stressors. So we added that. We are almost ready to roll out a total reward statement that shows people what their, obviously what their salary is, but also what the benefits relate to in terms of dollars that the college puts in for them. So it shows them that total statement, which again is key for recruitment and retention. And we've put a website up, which is really easy to navigate so people can see what their benefits information is. And we added a Healthy You initiative. So we give people money to do the right thing, to change their behaviors and to improve their health and to reduce our health claims. And we also added a financial wellness component, which is called Prosperous You, which is really about financial wellness because we know faculty and staff care deeply about that.
Wow, it sounds like you've really done a lot to make sure your participants are using the benefits at Lasell.
We have.
Okay, great. And speaking a little bit more broadly, do you perceive retirement plans in the higher education space to be more challenging than other types of organizations?
Well, I worked in the for-profit world a long time ago, but I've been in higher ed for a long time. But what I do know is that I do think that the higher ed world is more complicated in terms of retirement plans, and it's really because of the history. So historically, what higher ed institutions would do is offer many vendors that administer the retirement plan, but that also offer every fund selection possible. So I think the reasoning behind that was that they didn't want to tell people what to do. They just wanted to give people all the choice possible so that people would be able to choose and select whatever they wanted. Mm-hmm. So then you have, potentially one institution I worked at had 300 funds. So that paralyzes people. So as a result, they either default their election or they just freeze and don't make a choice and sometimes don't even enroll. So what's happened in the higher ed space, obviously there was legislation that required education, that required simplification of funds. So we've moved tremendously away from that structure, but still, more than the for-profit world, we have more choice than they do. So even 20 funds or 25 funds can be daunting for folks. So, the more choice there is, the more education is required, and the more apt somebody is to do nothing. So I think that that's challenging. And I think that, just generally retirement plans are confusing and complicated and stress people out. So, they don't always focus on that information, especially because there's other pieces of, there's other tasks at hand, and you have to get through the noise in terms of making sure people look at that and make the best choice for themselves.
Okay, great. Marymichele, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for watching.